Yo, welcome back to the channel. All right, you guys, I'm gonna do my best to answer this question right here. The best tips I can give you to catch bass would be honestly a soft plastic, light line, light rod with a light hook. I'm telling you guys are just gonna have way more fun doing that than trying to figure out when you watch all these other videos that they're catching them on crankbaits, on chatterbaits, on spinning baits, and you're wondering where the hell did I go wrong? Like, why are they catching them so easily and I'm not? Once you start bass fishing, you start catching them on crankbaits, chatterbaits, spinning baits, jerk baits, things like that where you're constantly moving. It's really difficult to go to throwing into a wacky just because the wait time is like you cast it out there and you're waiting forever and then pop, 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 waiting forever, pop, pop, pop. If you can master that, guys, you're well on your way to catching way more fish with other lures. And the reason I say that, guys, is because this, when you're popping your worm, is gonna help you out with every other single lure that you throw. That's like a good fundamental place to start. And then when you start doing other baits, even like crankbaits, when you're steady retrieving and then you'll give it a little pop, 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 and then retrieve, stop. It's just a good fundamental way to start bass fishing. In all honesty, guys, it's the easiest way to catch bass. Chances are you're gonna put a lot more fish in the boat with the soft plastic. If your pond isn't too deep, Escalante is deepest like 7 feet. So it's not gonna take too long to get to the bottom. Yes, definitely throw wacky hands down. I would say just practice on throwing wacky. The only time you wanna add weight is if it's windy or you need to get it out just a little bit further. I'm cool with how close I try to throw it to structure. I try to throw it to certain spots and I can get away with it with just weightless. So that's what I like doing, the fall of it. When you throw it on with drop shot, what ends up happening is as soon as you throw it in the water, just go straight down and there's no action to it. When you throw it weightless, this thing will start to shimmy down like that. And it's when you're popping it and you pause, that's usually when you're gonna get the bite. They're all like, yep, it's alive, I'm gonna eat it. You can throw it on a drop shot if you want to get straight to the bottom, and you can catch them. Don't get me wrong. I didn't really know how to bass fish, so I threw it on a big rod, on a medium heavy rod, and then heavy line, because I was the idiot that thought, man, I'm gonna catch them 10 pounders, 20 pounders, and I want to be ready when I do. It is a lot easier when I first started bass fishing. It is a lot more difficult, but since I did start 7 years ago, and then now I've learned so much that for me, it makes sense to me to throw a lot more weightless than anything else, guys. And you can catch them on other things, guys, but I'm talking about for you guys that are really struggling and really have yet to hook into a bass, or you've hooked into one and you're hooked now, but you don't know how to catch them because that way that you caught them, let's say on a crankbait. Just throwing it in, reeling in real fast, and then boom, you finally caught one. And what sucks is you're thinking, yeah, this works. That's how I caught him last time. I'm going to keep throwing that. Guys, there is such thing as a fluke. Like that one fish, bit that one crankbait, and no other fish will ever bite it again. Throwing it wacky, you are guaranteed to get your hookup ratio way higher, guys. It just does take a lot more patience, but that's a good fundamental place to start because it does teach you patience. When I have my finesse rod, I'm actually working the bait. So when I pop it, it's doing this in the water. It's basically dancing. When I have a stiff rod, it doesn't have any give. So when I move it up, it just does this. Let's say you use a stiff rod, a light line, and a light hook. Even if you have your drag set good and you go to set the hook, the strength of your rod and at the exact same time of the fish pulling, it might be strong enough just to snap that line. Like you might give it a good whip action and it'll just snap that line. And or if let's say you have a beefy rod and a decent heavy line and a small hook, what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna rip that fish's mouth. And the way you can know is if your hook's too big is if you go to set the hook and just about every fish that you come in, you barely have to take it out where it's not even past the barb. Even if you bend your barb down, if it just barely comes out, that means you're really not penetrating that fish's mouth. The problem with that is you're gonna lose a lot of fish. A big fish, a decent fish will know how to shake that hook. Start it with a wacky and you'll start catching more fish and you'll get easier hooked in, and especially if you're with kids, they'll get hooked on. But this line right here, you get it at Walmart. This line right here is a game changer, guys. I've got another lines, I've got another, but this line right here with the right setup of rod and your drag set perfectly, it'll honestly save you. If you snap off on a fish, your drag wasn't set right. He either wasn't set right or he took you into something and it snapped you off. Usually at Escarate you don't have that problem, but if you're at Escarate and you want to have your drag set because you can't have it too loose. If you have it too loose and you go to set the hook and you hear your drag every time you're setting the hook, chances are then you're losing a lot of fish. It's because your drag's too loose. You got to tighten it just a little bit. If I'm seeing that I'm catching really big fish, like even 2 pounders, 3 pounders, and your line's not your drag's not going, yeah, you probably need to loosen your drag. Now it also does come down to if you have a cheapy rod. Like cheapy rods, the drag systems aren't really great on those. But if you have a decent rod or decent reel, I mean, you'll be able to hear the drag really good, and it always kicks in at the right time. Yeah, guys, that's my best advice to you guys: is start off finesse. You can throw a lot of lures with just that rod. I can take that rod and just catch a bunch of different fish a bunch of different ways with just that rod. That line setup, the line, the rod, the reel. If I bought a cheapy rod and it comes with the line they usually do, I'd pull that line out, get Vanish, put it on there, and you'll be set. But you guys let me know any more questions, anything that you guys have, any way that I can answer it, I'll answer it as best as I can. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Love y'all. God bless. To the next.